Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier Phillips. C News is live at noon. Topping the news is this time, the cast of the Calypso Revue tent have cut ties with the Trinbago Unified Calypsonians Organization, TUCO. The decision comes one day after the mighty Chalk Dust was the only singer from the revue among the 40 chosen for the Calypso Monarch semi-finals this Saturday. Eric Taylor, also known as Pink Panther, told the media at the revue's home at the SWWTU Hall that revue has not been fairly treated by TUCO.
Alana Sinet's offering was considered one of the top songs for the season. Yet, she is not one of the Calypsonians chosen for Calypso Fiesta. She is one of many Calypsonians from the revue tent who felt slighted by the semi-finalist. Only 8-time king, the mighty Chalk Dust, was chosen from Calypso Revue. This sparked an outrage among the revue members, prompting a media conference at their home on Wrightson Road.
So this is not a semi-final grouse. This is a grouse that have to do with we being members of an organization that's supposed to have our best interests at heart, and clearly they don't have it. And so, as from tonight, the members of the revue are quitting TUCO.
He further stated their next step, as they have issued their resignations, at least verbally, from TUCO.
So there's no law that states that it's only TUCO could represent Calypsonians. We're going to form a body and look for the same legitimate representation from the authorities.
However, reigning Calypso monarch Devon Seal, a member of the revue tent and also a member of TUCO's General Council, gave his perspective on the issue.
But you see, I think this is based on the decision was based on emotions. Yes, I am totally disappointed that I was there at the tent, judges' night, and I was a bit surprised as well that, the majority of members had a good show. I'm surprised that we only got one pick.
TUCO President Lutalo Masimba, or Brother Resistance, told the C News he does not wish to comment on the matter until he has more information of the developments. Ian Wason, C News.
Well, of course, these revelations came mere hours after it was revealed that the National Carnival Commission, NCC, has taken control of the Calypso Fiesta from TUCO. Janine Brown tells us more.
TUCO's President Lutalo Masimba says his organization is against the move by the National Carnival Commission to take control of the ticketing and gate receipts of this year's Calypso Fiesta. Calypso Fiesta is the second stage of the road to Calypso Monarch and has been managed by TUCO since it was established back in 1993. This action by the NCC comes on the heels of the state entity's move to take over the financial management of Panorama 2017. A responsibility that previously rested on the shoulders of Pan Trinbago. The TUCO president said, like Pan Trinbago, they oppose the NCC's actions.
Some people seem to forget that we have representation on the board of the NCC, and this time around, decisions were taken while we were not on the board. We didn't receive our instruments, and so decisions were taken in our absence, and there was no real consultation.
Asked if TUCO will follow in the footsteps of Pan Trinbago and take the NCC to court, he said Pan Trinbago's matter is a telling one.
Because the court recommended a sort of balance in terms of how we approach things, between the NCC and the interest group, and the Pan Trinbago case, which we supported Pan Trinbago. You would find that the matter would only be resolved somewhere in April, which is after the carnival.
Mr. Masimba said, most importantly, they're hoping they can still deliver the best possible product for Calypso lovers.
I would just like the Calypso lovers to continue to support their product, no matter what, no matter how your organization is being threatened. Support your product. Make sure that you come out on Saturday at Calypso Fiesta and support your artists, lift them up.
Calypso Fiesta is set to take place this Saturday at Skinner Park in San Fernando. Janine Brown, C News.
And Eric Taylor, the Pink Panther, was on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago this morning and touched on the NCC's decision. He expressed agreement, stating it would eliminate conflicts of interest.
I believe it should be so all the time, you know.
Why so?
You see conflict of interest, and then you see justice, as they say, mustn't only be served, you know. It must appear to be served, right? Let a neutral body run the competition.
You're watching the CNews Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at CNews Live. In other news now, after 3 days without a reported homicide, 2 murders have been recorded in San Fernando this morning. In the latest incident, 25-year-old Kern Joseph was shot dead near his home at Parakeet Boulevard in Pleasantville. Reports are at around 9:30 this morning, Joseph was returning from a nearby parlor when he was seen talking with a man near his home. The man then allegedly pulled a gun and shot Joseph 3 times before fleeing the scene. Joseph, a truck driver, died at the scene of the shooting. And earlier in Palmy's 45-year-old Samuel Rampasad was found dead near his home. Residents of Palmy said they heard several gunshots and upon checking found Rampasad on the roadway outside his Palmy's Bend Coconut Drive home. Officers from the Southern Bureau of Homicide are conducting investigations into both matters. The Coast Guard seized just under $500,000 worth of marijuana on Tuesday. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard confirmed in a release that one of their patrol boats intercepted a 28-foot white pirogue in the 3rd Boca with 2 occupants on board at around 6:30 a.m. yesterday. The pirogue and contents on board were seized and the occupants escorted back to Stobles Bay, where further searches were conducted. During the search, 2 crocus bags with 59 packets of the narcotic were discovered, weighing about 32 kilograms. The seizure had an estimated street value of $440,100. The 2 Trinidadian occupants of the pirogue were handed over to the Organized Crime Narcotics and Firearms Bureau of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. In some other news now, former Miss Trinidad and Tobago Universe Anya Ayangchi was one of the faces that launched a campaign to bring attention to gender-based violence within the carnival space. On Tuesday, Say Something, in partnership with Together We and Carryman, took to Port of Spain with a new campaign inspired by Calypso Rose's Leave Me Alone. Miss Ayangchi, Freetown Collective's Mohamed Muakil, and Attila Springer modeled the Leave Me Alone and Leave She Alone t-shirts on the Brian Lara Promenade on Valentine's Day to promote the campaign. In a release, the group said Leave Me Alone and Leave She Alone are rallying cries against those who harass or want to control women. And there are also serious calls to all of us, especially men, to step up and help us create safe spaces and a safer carnival for women. While Mayor of Arima, Lisa Morris, has continued her challenge of the Statutory Authorities Service Commission's delay in the appointment of an acting Chief Executive Officer of the Arima Borough Corporation. The mayor is advocating that a senior member take over the position, while current Chief Executive Officer Cheryl Serju Chong goes on leave for the next 2 months. On Tuesday, the mayor held an emergency statutory meeting to discuss the matter. The mayor is of the view that the commission has acted in a way to compromise the council. She says, quote, "We do not as politicians intend to influence the policies of the statutory commission. What we are seeking is clarification on the commission's policy with regard to this matter. The fact of the matter is that there is someone in the corporation who has acted already, and we see no reason why it cannot be repeated," unquote. Well, here's a look at the weather forecast.
The air across both Trinidad and Tobago stays mostly dry. Only a few patches of low-level cloud and moisture will come through, with only the slight chance of the odd shower favoring the hillsides. Otherwise, expect sunny spells throughout this afternoon. As the day warms, look for 30 degrees Celsius in Tobago, 32 degrees Celsius in Trinidad. If you're heading to the beaches, there's only a slight chop in the bays in the Caribbean of 1 to 1.5 meters. Further offshore in the Atlantic, look for 2-meter wind waves with northeasterly swells of 9 seconds and easterly winds of 10 to 15 knots. Tide is low at 1 p.m., then high at 7 p.m. That is the latest weather, and I am meteorologist Ian Wallace.
In a bit of bizarre news, there was an odd scene for drivers stuck in traffic along Riceland Road during rush hour on Tuesday evening. A naked woman was seen walking down Ryson Road shortly before 6 p.m. Several witnesses posted to social media explaining that the woman had hit 3 cars along Devatai Street in Woodbrook with a Chevrolet pickup truck. She then stripped herself of her clothing, left them and her personal belongings, including her ID and passport, and started walking along Ryson Road. CNews understands she made it as far as Colville Street. Relatives of the woman were contacted moments after she left the vehicle, and they were said to be searching for her yesterday afternoon. CNews has reached out to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to confirm if the woman was found, but as yet have no confirmation if she was located. On to some more Carnival news now. The band launch season has been over for some time, and in just a few days, masqueraders will be collecting those anticipated 2017 Carnival costumes. While CNews reporter Marie Hull and cameraman Ricky Gokul took a behind-the-scene look with reigning large band winner Ronnie and Caro to see exactly what goes into creating the Carnival experience.
For those playing with large mass band Ronnie and Caro, the former Soca Monarch winner and co-owner of the band, Ronnie McIntosh, says his band is one step closer to defending the title of Band of the Year in 2017. Celebrating their 10th Carnival presentation, Fearless 10 aims to reflect the band's offering over the past 9 years, from inception as a medium band in 2008 to its graduation to the large category. Ronnie told us his secrets for keeping his local, regional and international base coming back.
We really pay attention to the masquerader dollar, you know what I mean? Because the dollar is hard to come by based on the economy you're talking about. So when people hand you know, when people trust you with their money, and of course Carnival has transformed basically to customer service. At the end of the day, yes, nice costumes, but what are you offering me, you know, for my wristband? What are you offering me? What type of, you know, what brand of drinks you offering me, what kind of security you have. So we have paid a lot of attention to that customer service.
The band caters for 1,300 to 1,400 masqueraders, and while much of the production is done locally, the sheer volume causes some parts of the costumes to be constructed overseas.
All our designs are done here, but to make the copies of it, we send it abroad, because we send it to China, because it's hard to produce, you know, 1,400 costumes. You don't have staff for that. You know, back in the day, you know, you would get volunteers and that kind of thing, but it's hard because you have other bands with 4,000 masqueraders, and next band have 3,500, you know.
And he's not fazed by the negative comments that some may have about the vibrant festival.
I find every year, for some reason, people like to attack Carnival. So one year they will say Ebola. So, you know, Carnival and problems with Ebola. Then Carnival and problems with the recession. Then, some people like to target Carnival for some reason. If you don't like Carnival, then, you know, jump on a plane or go by the beach or something. But don't target Carnival. We have had no reports of, or no cancellations that some of our masqueraders who are based in America not coming because Donald Trump and them kind of. We just like to attack Carnival. If you don't like Carnival, it's already seasonal, you know what I mean?
Ronnie is calling on citizens to put their best foot forward and show visitors an entertaining and safe time during the Carnival season.
You know, we have guests coming in, some of them coming for the first time. They ain't bound to be from Germany, it could be from somebody from New York coming for the first time. So we have visitors, and I think we have a responsibility to represent the country at a certain level. Somebody in some strange area, and you find they shouldn't be there, feel free to stop and let them know, you know, guys, you know, try and walk on that side.
And if you're playing in Fearless 10 come Carnival Monday and Tuesday, Ronnie and Caro's costume collection is set to begin on Friday. Marie Hull, CNews.
Well, some exciting news for fans of Calypso Rose. The award-winning Calypso Queen will return to Trinidad this evening. The winner of the World Music Album of the Year at the Les Victoires de la Musique in Paris, France, is expected to arrive at the TUCO International Airport this evening at around 7:30. The 1978 Road March winner was awarded with the French equivalent of a Grammy Award last Friday for her album Far From Home. The album's success has not just been in Europe, as her hit Leave Me Alone has also scored big with a remix featuring Marshall Montano making the circuit for the Carnival season. The hit, as we mentioned already, also has been adopted as a slogan for anti-gender violence campaign. Calypso Rose will stage a concert, So Calypso, next Friday at the Queen's Park Oval. Well, coming up in sports news, we tell you that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force and the Jamaica Scorpions are up in the semi-finals of the Super 50 League. We start with some cricket news. Defending champions Trinidad and Tobago Red Force take on Jamaica Scorpions in the semi-finals of the WICB Super 50 tournament today in Antigua. In some football news, Trinidad and Tobago's under-20 men's team will arrive in San Jose, Costa Rica this afternoon ahead of the start of the CONCACAF Under-20 Championships. TNT opened their campaign against Bermuda on Sunday at the Ricardo Saprissa Stadium. On Monday, the Under-20 team completed their training camp with a 1-0 victory over Cardoso FC Under-20 team in the closing training match. The victory was TNT's second of the 5-match schedule following a 2-0 win over Club America Under-20s on the weekend. TNT drew 2 and lost one of the other 3 matches. In some netball news now, Anastasia Wilson turned in a vintage performance as University of Trinidad and Tobago beat Fire Services 42-36 in the Courts All Sectors Netball League. The win put UTT in second place behind Police, who beat University of Trinidad and Tobago. And here are the highlights of the UTT win.
The University of Trinidad and Tobago rekindled some of its last season form in this encounter with Fire, especially at the offensive end of the court. And the one chiefly responsible was a fit again, Anastasia Wilson, who looked more energetic and aggressive in the circle to get into good positions and then to finish off plays with her quality shooting. She was looking like the Wilson of yesteryear when she dominated play for both the defense force and the national team, making life easy for the entry passes to find her. As a result, the students led after 197, despite Fire keeping it close with some good work of their own, especially from Aquila Blue, who hit on 20 of her 39 attempts, and an even more efficient Jamila McCarthy, who sank 16 of her 24 shots. But UTT had good rhythm throughout this game and stretched that lead to 6 by the half, 20-14, thanks to Kanisha Greenwich, who sank 19 of her 29 attempts. But it was Wilson who stole the show on this night with a solid display of finding the seams in the defense and finished off the moves to finish with 23 of her 35 shooting. UTT would then lead 31-24 after 3 and would never trail. They walked off comfortable winners 42-36 as they made a timely surge to try to hold on to their title despite missing several key pieces from a year ago. Fire did have their moments, but it wasn't enough, and they missed a chance to keep the pressure on Police. That's because the Lawwomen also found their range early against UE and took control of this clash. Jolisa Cooper, despite reaching a bit late, was quickly into stride. The same couldn't be said for UE, who misfired far too frequently and hurt their own chances as they trailed 5-11 after 1 quarter. And Police kept taking advantage with some timely shots, even on the second attempt sometimes, as they led 20-11 at the half. Cooper and company would keep their foot on the pedal in the second half and led 31-21 after 3, as Cooper ended with 23 of her 29 shots going in, and Tahira Hollingsworth sank 11 of her 21 attempts in support. Police would stay in front throughout and won this one by 10, 41-31 for UE. Aquila Rodriguez hit on 10 of her 14 attempts, while Afia Vincent scored 13 of her 20 shots in a losing effort.
In some cycling news now, TNT Olympian Jacene Phillips has opted out of the next wave of UCI World Cup meets in Colombia and LA. The speedster has not raced much since the Rio Olympics last year and is working on his fitness and sharpness before entering the international fray again. Jacene is now concentrating all of his energies on the upcoming World Championships in Hong Kong in April. He hopes to re-establish himself among the elite sprinters in the world. Also missing from the Colombia stint this weekend is female star Kiana Lester, who is still recovering from injuries sustained in a car accident in December. Well, that's it for sport. And that brings us to the end of the CNews Report at noon. I'm Karen Kozier-Phillip. Do have a good afternoon.